I need a bowl to cut him some cake. And
you're in the live.
oh, sorry. Oops. I meant a plastic takeaway bowl. Please.
There you go.
And is the knife still in there?
I think so. It will be. Yeah.
It's not.
Good. Sorry?
It's not. We're down to the last layer.
Here.
We're down to the base layer now.
I'm not complaining. Good people. Good evening, good afternoon, good day. Wherever you are. I am Gladys. I like cake. And I was here earlier to bake a cake. I don't want this cake to burn, so I'm taking it out of the oven now. Okay? This cake was made on a live earlier. So the immediate live that is available, if you check, you'll see. We made this. It's a coffee style cake. Wow. This looks so lush and so yum. Seasonings, darling. Seasonings. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We were here earlier and then we completed this bake. Look at how amazing it's turned out to be. I want to, you know what, I want to do you justice. Bear with me. I'm going to get you off the stand so that you, if the live goes off, that's on me. Okay? It will go off. Okay? So look what we have over here. Look what we have over here. Okay? That's the view. I just want to give you a view of what's happening here. Look. It's a good cake. Now, let's go and put you back on the stand so we don't lose the live. Okay? Let's not lose the live. Let's not lose the live, Glads. Okay. 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 Okay, I think my stand is almost always like giving up on me. Hi, Auntie Jackie. Auntie Jackie, I can see you. Hey. Guys, can you? Okay, let's see. Okay, the stand has gone a bit. Okay, stay with me, people. Stay with me. Okay, there you are. Glad. Now stop playing with your stand and just go to work. Okay, now we are here. Right. I'll stop playing with the stand. Okay, people, I'm back. You can see the bake. There we are. The cake baked. I'll tell you what, because you and I are friends, isn't it? Tell you what, I had a viewing. That's where we went. And
Come in, Ria.
There's a split view about it as a family. The big producer likes the house. I'm like, ugh. So that's where we are. Just to give you some updates about me and house. So we were sort of hunting, as in viewing for a new rental, and the big producer liked the one we saw, but it's like, yeah, it's a no. Because I'll tell you what, I am a homely person, as in I don't like moving a lot, right? The first, let's just get this and then we can talk about all of these things. I just want to flip this over so that we can see what is in there. Okay, let's see. Okay. 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 Oh, look at the cake. Look at the cake. if you look closely, the crumb over there, even though it's broken, this is going to be a yum cake. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to slide this over. What just happened? I have just literally had a splatter of cake over my face. Okay. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing, people. But I just want to show you how amazing the bake turned out, because I just want you to have a good view of the coffee cake we just made. So, okay, it's gone now. There you go. So we're going to have to bake another one of these. We're going to bake another one of these. So we have 2 of these, and then we're going to bake 2 batches of the banana loaf to kind of mix up. So it's a lot of baking today, but I've left it a bit too late. Plus, I get to do it with you, so I'm super excited. It's not like I'm not complaining. So let's put this to the side to chill whilst we get to work, and I'll tell you all about. I'll tell you, yeah, the strusel kind of went over my face. Yeah, Auntie Jackie. Right, so I'll tell you about, you know what, I can tell you what I can as we go on, which is the house move, right? Initially, we had some really tricky situations in between, which kind of made our options of a move, as in the choices we have to exercise, a little bit tight. Finance was also a determining factor, because we moved into this property nearly 10 years ago, and a lot has changed in 10 years. Life has happened. Sometimes the issue of finances affecting your ability to do the things you want to do is not born out of being irresponsible or mismanaging. It's just life. And I found out that we are all a sickness away from losing everything we have if God's grace doesn't find us, okay? You are one sickness, one life occurrence, one situation away from just losing everything, you know? And despite the change in our circumstance, I am still like grateful that we are still in a sort of relatively great situation. Great is relative here, because great is that the family is still intact. My son is great. I have my health. I have a career that I love, and I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. The other side of that is also, the downside of that is that sometimes if you don't have a traditional means of employment, like a traditional predictable income, then your options can be extremely limited in terms of what you can get on the market. So I exist in between this spectrum, you know, where I don't have a traditional form of employment, income is not consistent, and if you're renting, they want stability, right? So all of that kind of tends to affect the decisions surrounding what our options were, and I had kind of given up on it, you know. But in between of that, I will say okay, here's the confession. I forgot my God is greater than my problems. Okay, that's all. That's the confession. I think I said all of that to say I forgot my God is greater than my problems, and He is capable of making impossible things happen. And I was stuck on the details of what my situation is and how limiting my options were going to be. And it turns out God showed up and was like, girl, all you needed to do was remember that I create the opportunities, and all you have to do is follow. So yes, I woke up this morning not knowing. Up until this morning, 11:20, the option to either move or not move, it was still like in a stalemate. And by midday, the Lord showed up and was like, I'm giving you a sign. But you know, when you get something like a sign and you suddenly start jumping up and making decisions, suddenly I think I've gotten to a place where I've gotten comfortable with the Lord. I'm like, Lord, this may be a sign, but I'm waiting to see you in the detail. Look, just because this is an opportunity doesn't mean I want to run and make decisions. So I want to see you in the detail. Show me a sign, okay? So even whilst I was here, and I said I had some things to get back to, the viewing was booked for 5 p.m. So I had to finish and for us to go. So we went as a family. The big producer is off today from work, so it's probably the only opportunity that we have to go as a family, right? Because everybody's it's important everybody kind of like has a say in it. And we got there. It's in a lovely location. Where I live at the moment is, how do I describe it? It's where we live now is kind of a modern build, and it sits somewhere. It's somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't say middle class-ish, but it is. Okay. So if you catch what I'm saying, well, and you know what? I was caught in that detail, okay? Can I be vulnerable? I was caught in that detail. I was caught in, this is a lovely place. It had become an idol in my life, okay? Let me just admit that. It had become an idol in my life. I did idolize, like, the environment and the place where, Andrew, hello there. It had become an idol in a place in my life where I'm like, you know, sometimes when you like, you love the place so much, you can't pay attention to what else is happening, right? And so in all of this move and thing, I think the Lord kind of reminded me, it's not about what is on the outside and what it looks like. Look within. And I heard, so when we were going to view this place, it is not, in terms of comparison, it is not the same as where we are now. And plus, matter of fact, we are downsizing. Where we are is bigger, and sometimes, you know, a miracle is not bigger and better. A miracle is just meeting your needs, and I think I'm mature enough to accept that. So we go to view this place, and mind you, I'm going and my prayer is, Lord, show me a sign. Tell me why we pull up in the front of the house and there's an argument literally happening. Like, the house is in England what you call a semi-detached. So there are 2 houses that share a wall on the same land, if you like, right? And then there's a driveway on both sides, and then there is, like, give it, say, about 3 meters, and there's another set of 2 houses, and it's a small, like, cul-de-sac. Tell me why we pull up to the front of the house for the viewing, and our exact would be neighbor. So the building shares a wall with another person. That person is having a full-on argument with a contractor that had pulled up there. I'm like, is that the sign I need? I don't know. But we have had the experience of very difficult neighbors in the past, and I'm talking not a personal thing where they've gone out of their way to make our lives hard, but I want to know my neighbors, okay? I want to go and say hello. I want to, in the morning, say, if I'm putting my bins out and I see you, I want to acknowledge you. And if I have cake, I want to come up and say, oh, have some cake, and feel that you are hospitable. I don't want to sit in your house and eat your dinner with you. That's not what I mean. But I want to have, like, a welcoming warmth from you, because you're going to be living with this person, even though you don't live in the same house. You're going to be around each other, and life happens and danger comes your way. You want to make sure that your neighbor will look out for you. And unfortunately, we haven't had that with neighbors. Like, we have had some really, when you have a neighbor writing to the council about the wrong bin in your wrong bag in the wrong bin, it's a problem, isn't it? anyway, so yeah, that's where we are. So it's a no. It's a no. I think this conversation was more for Auntie Jackie and Seasons and those of you who are here. Those of you who don't know me, like, what is she on about? Don't you worry. We made the cake. We made a cake. And we are making some more. There's a Gladys's kitchen. Gladys's kitchen. Okay.
Are you sure you need to kill Barney in this multiverse?
What a coincidence. A pleasant one for that matter. Okay. That makes the two of us. It's Gladys's kitchen, but I am Gladys's cake kitchen. So I am not just a kitchen. The kitchen, we make cake in the kitchen. So the cake makes a difference. But hey, person, great to have you. Welcome to the stream. We're supposed to be prepping. We are supposed to be prepping for a cake. And I've spent the entire time telling you about me and my house hunting troubles. Good Vibe says, I feel you, Gladys. Warm love is appreciated, especially from, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's on me. My neighbors are, I don't want to talk about my neighbors because they watch me and they're kids. You've kind of seen me. You've kind of seen me on a live interact with my neighbors. Here's the difference. They are not my immediate neighbors, okay? They are like the distant neighbors. So a little far off, you're talking maybe, let's say, 300 meters away from me. And 300 meters is a stretch. So you're counting about 10 houses away. Those are the ones I interact with the most that you've seen on the live, like when you've seen me laughing to the neighbor outside there and handing cakes to people. But the immediate, like first house, second house people, so it does, you know, that's important to me. But besides the neighbor thing and besides the argument like happening full on in front of us, I think the biggest thing for me was that when we got into the house, it looked nice, but it didn't feel warm. It didn't feel like a home. You can look at a house and be like, oh, that's nice, and not feel at home in it. And I didn't have the warmth of a home. So it's a no. But whenever I can, I'll bring you along. And then we'll get to see where Auntie Gladys ends up at. But all I'm asking is that the Lord is in the process for me over here. So when you're praying, you say, because we need a place that will also support the growth of our business. Never underestimate the spirit of a home, okay? Because you don't know who, especially if you don't own the place, you don't know who was there before, you don't know what has been planted in the home. And as I've gotten older and fervent in my faith, I realize all of these decisions are not to be taken for granted. So my prayer is to get to a home that is ordained by the Lord, that will nourish my spirit, that will help me grow as a person, okay? That will kind of feed into everything else. Because sometimes when you get to a home, you know this is a home. And I didn't feel like that when we went to see this one. So that is just by the way, and that is where we are, people. Okay? That's where we are. But yeah, let's say a prayer. When you go to pray, you say, Lord, just get Auntie Gladys a home, okay? So that she can find a home where the cake kitchen will grow and all the great things that is ahead of us will come to fruition, okay? Oh, Carabo is back. I think I remember you, honey. How are you, my darling? If you want to know how much butter we have here, we have 485, okay? We're going to be making the banana loaf. That's going to take a while to bake. Yeah, we're doing that. But we're making 2 batches of butter. You know why? Because this requires 2 batches of cake, right? So I've gotten both of them together. Can you see? I have both. So let's make it work. Okay, let's make it work. So what I'm going to be doing, Daira is asking, what's my favorite thing to cook, darling? My favorite thing to make is cake. Can you not see? We are making cake. What could be better than cake? Hello. We don't do anything else here. We just make cake. We love cake. If you've been here, you know we make cake over here, okay? This is coconut sugar. It's to add flavor and intensity. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a plastic bag and put my recycling bits in there because this is annoying. Okay, there we are. So what am I doing? Yeah, just that goes right. I've just ruined this because I don't know how much I poured in there. We need about 640. So we have coconut sugar. How much do we have? 106 grams. And then we have muscavado sugar. This is dark muscavado sugar. We are adding intensity and flavor. That is 383, and then we're going to throw in the caster sugar. So we are essentially using 3 types of sugars, but that's because I just want to intensify the flavor without doing much, right? So there we are, sugar in there. All that goes. So instead of doing all of that, what I'm going to do is that one mixer will be mixing here and the other will be mixing in the corner there. It's the big mixer. It is just so that it saves us time, okay? Because what I'm doing requires a lot and I still want you to be a part of it. So this is you on in my kitchen watching me actually do what I'll be doing for a client on a busy bake day, right? So thank you for being here. Love from Nepal. Oh, Suchita, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. How are you? What's the weather like? And what's the time in Nepal right now? Thank you for stopping by. We love you. And we're so grateful to have you. We appreciate you for being here. Is Auntie Jackie here? Auntie Jackie, are you still here with us? Thank you, Auntie Jackie. Auntie Jackie and Good Vibes out here. Keeping you guys company and working hard. We're adding some more sugar here. 650. The type of sugar is just for convenience also. You can settle for any type if you want. But I am just choosing something that will bring flavor and intensity. Let me just make sure I have a paddle attachment for this mixer before I even employ that, because I don't want the drama. I do. Okay, we've got it. So same measurement, 650 grams of sugar, 350 being the brown ones and 300 being the non-brown. So it's neither here nor there. Whatever you have, make it work. Okay. And right, for that we have the banana, which is over here. So I'm going to have to divide the entire banana so that we can use it. Okay, there's nearly 200 grams here. Let's try that. Oh God, what did I just do? Okay, 200 grams. Yeah, exactly 200 grams. So 200 grams each for the banana. I could just make one load of banana and then mix it, but I don't want to risk it. So we have the banana. I know there was sour cream somewhere. Yeah, I have sour cream, right? I'm going to mix the sour cream with buttermilk. Sometimes that's what you're going to have to do. Yep, sour cream gets mixed with buttermilk, and just to add. The banana brings flavor, so you want to be careful if you decide to add the flavor and moisture. So you want to be careful if you start adding moisture enhancing ingredients. So just 100 grams here and 100 grams there. Because sometimes, you know, when you have banana, because banana loaf, banana cake, they are two different things. One is a quick bread, one is a cake, okay? Not all banana, the names sort of are confusing, and if you don't make cakes, it may not mean anything to you. So if you see banana loaf, that is like a big muffin in a loaf. Muffins are different from cakes because the liquid quantity in them are higher, there's less sugar, and sometimes there is less fat too. So loaf, cake, they're two different things. So you can have a banana cake. I've baked one here before. If you're very pedantic and peculiar with things, then you're like, oh, the texture matters to you. A cake is a little more delicate and soft crumb and tender, and the bread is a little more doughy and intense and dense, if you like. So I am making a cake, not the loaf. I am just baking it in a tray. That's all. Okay, so we have the banana sauces, right? And then we go for eggs. Do we? Yeah, eggs. Right. 275. Where are the eggs? Yeah, we have eggs here. I broke one, so we have 90. Okay. I am sure I brought a tray of eggs in here, did I? You're just literally watching a baker who is confused, okay? Okay. Did I? Okay, maybe I didn't. Well, let me get the eggs. Yeah, I know I brought some eggs here. You are watching a very confused baker, people. A very confused one. There you go. You're welcome. We have 300 grams of eggs for one thing here. Let's get another bowl. Another 300 grams. You know what? Seasons. Thank you. You know what? It is so humbling. It is so humbling when I know it seems like something so small. Your appreciation for how real the chaos gets in the kitchen. You can't make this stuff up. And my hope was never to filter that out either, okay? There is a sense of honesty you can bring without feeling like you're trauma dumping or just being irresponsible. I know keeping organized is important, okay? Keeping organized will make your workflow better. And I'd like to think I am an organized person, but I'm not an organized freak. Like people almost attach their identity to how organized they are, to the point where people will casually label themselves OCD, and meanwhile they need a whole like organization in their spirit. Let me just move on with what I'm doing, okay? So people are out here obsessing about how organized their kitchen spaces and everything else should be so that they can present perfection. Meanwhile, their character stinks to high heavens. And whilst this is not like a personal attack at anybody, my goal has always been to represent myself better in the things like, if you're seeing the imperfections, I'm hoping to improve upon it just so that you can feel inspired. But believe me, when I have 240 cupcakes plus 2 tier cakes to make, my kitchen is not organized. Let's be clear, okay? now it's not dirty. People need to understand the difference between a messy, dirty space and an unorganized place because life is happening. Sometimes when you go to a home, okay, the kids' shoes are to the left here and washed because yes, the kids are living. Okay, the kids are going for walks in the country parks and they are coming home and their parents have a job and you can't always kind of keep up on top of things. So to hell with them people who make, if I made content to tell you I was very organized, remember that would be intentional. That would be intentional to place the camera at an angle and make sure my place is even clean before I even start filming. Remember that. So those people who make you feel like you are dirty, it's a you problem, okay? Because whatever you're looking at, unless this is a live, you saw me here an hour and a half ago and I disappeared and I came back and I told you where I've been, and this is still my kitchen. I live here, I cook here, I follow the rules as prescribed as a baker. If I'm baking for clients or doing some baking centered stuff, I prep my meals days in advance because you can't wash or cook different things at the same time. That's part of the food hygiene assessment guidelines. You can't actively be cooking stuff when you are baking. So when the assessor comes through, the assessor has to make a judgment of whether you are adhering to all those rules. And yes, my kitchen space, when I eventually leave, I told you, you're not getting a house tour, okay? Not because I don't trust you. That is because we have outsiders in our workspace and there are safety concerns and I have a child and there's no reason for that. I want to bring you to my kitchen. You are here with me, but I can't because this is also my home where my son is. But when I leave, you will see the size of the kitchen and you will see what I was working with and you will see what I mean. There's no way I can be cooking chicken and grilling meat in this kitchen when the oven and everything is busy. But believe me when I say, when all this is done and I stuff them where they need to be, I come and I cook my jollof rice and I live, okay? I'm just saying, I'm baking a cake. I'm just baking a cake, people. So whoever is asking. So my point is, it warms my heart when it almost goes to show our need for just authentic representation. And I don't mean authentic in Meghan Markle's words. Because watch anyone who is always throwing authentic at you and watch whether they're authentic. That's all. Now let's go measure some flour, okay? Then again, I better stop talking about Miss Markle. Miss Markle doesn't want. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think we need to cook that jollof rice, but it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. Look, even my scale. Look, the scale has come off. It broke. I had to fix it. I like my scale. Unless it stops working, I'm not changing it for anybody. You have to have a sense of who you are and your identity before you even start doing YouTube. Because if you're doing this thing for public validation, my dear, you'll crash and burn real quick. Because that's when you start worrying, I have to have a perfect kitchen. I have to have a perfect space. And I mean, believe me, I don't look like this every day, you know. And you people have seen me without all this stuff. Believe me, the only reason I make the effort to look like this is for presentation, you know. It's like I've got to come to work. I can't just roll up like I literally didn't brush my feet. Okay, sorry. Sorry for the details, but it is out of also respect for myself and for you and your time. I have to make the effort to look like, okay, I'm teaching you something and I look presentable. But this is not going to stop me from showing up. You've seen me here without the eyelash. And I've told you, the brows are drawn. And the lashes are fake. It's all right. I love you people, okay? I love you. God, look. I couldn't be anything else, you know. I couldn't. I don't know. It's a good thing I I found this at a later age in my life. I'm not 16, you know. I don't even pretend to be 16. I'm not 16. I'm not 20. I'm closer to 40 than you think. Yeah, I know I'm cute. Okay, I'm cute. just taking the mickey out of you guys. Okay, I know. Black don't crack. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. You guys, you, Auntie Jackie, Tabitha, good vibes. Like all of you people, like, I mean, all of you. You guys just make me feel so good about myself, honestly. I can tell you, I haven't always felt like this because if anything, I have always felt like the odd one out. I've always in companies and groups of people, but it's never stopped me feeling like my life will still go on and I can do anything I set my mind up to and trust that and have faith and trust the Lord in the process. It's never stopped me. But it's even better when you have a whole community of people for good reason, because even whilst your presence and support matters to me over here, I still have to have an inner compass to direct what my choices are. Because otherwise, you know what, in this hollow dark place called the internet, if you are out here being a girl, shall we go and bake? Okay, let me just go and bake. If I look oily, it's because, yes, my face is oily because my face has been in my oven trying to get a cake out. Okay, so don't judge. Right, now let's tidy up and get to work, shall we? I have all this cake. I have all of these. They are all weapons, you know. If you try me, I will smack you with this. No, we don't encourage violence over here. Sorry. Okay. We listen, we don't judge. Carry. Okay. You know, you're my people. You listen, you don't judge. That's why you can come to me. I listen too. I don't judge. I am so happy I found my people on this part of the internet. Thank you. Now we're tidying. When I have to use the two mixers, not only is my oven a storage space when I'm not baking, but my mixer too. The mixer bowls are all like holding stuff. Oh, Lord. How did I end up on this part of the internet? How did I end up here? Okay, let's get the mixer up here. Go. See? The way I left everything like that and disappeared. Right, so if you're the exact measurements, let's get through it. We have 485 grams of sugar. 250 of it is like the brown sugar, and then we have the rest being white or any type. The brown, light brown muscavado is just to add intensity. So we have, oh, no, tell a lie. It's not 485 grams of sugar. What am I talking about? It's 485 grams of butter, as in margarine. We have 650 grams of sugar. 350 of that sugar is muscavado sugar or dark brown sugar. One or the other is fine. And then we have 300 grams of granulated white sugar. Altogether is 650 grams. We have 2 tablespoonfuls of vanilla in there, okay? And then we have 300 grams of eggs, as in eggs. There's 200 grams of mashed banana. Okay, you can get 2 large bananas, 200 grams of those, and then there's 100 mils of buttermilk, just to enhance the moisture as well. And then we have 675 grams of self-raising flour. That's where we are. The self-raising flour has a pinch of salt. Pinch here is anything between 5 to 7 grams. You can go all the way up to 10 grams. Salt balances the sweetness and brings complexity to the taste for you, but you can eliminate it. But I will encourage you to keep some salt in your baked goods. The flavor is good over there. So that's what we've done. And yeah, I am actually baking I'm mixing the same thing in 2 mixers. I have my Kenwood XL, but you won't be able to see both on the same table because my work surface is very small, plus it will be too noisy. So this will be mixing in the background, but it is there. Okay, same ingredients, just doing that behind me over here. I am crazy. You know why? Because I haven't measured the fat for the big mixer. So let's do this over here. Let's start here before I do that. If the creaming is happening and I'm not talking to you, I'm not ignoring you. The noise gets a bit much. I don't want to shout at you, but I'll come back and talk to you in a minute. Bear with me. Okay, so the other mixer is now on. This is what a busy day sounds like in my kitchen. This small kitchen has seen quite some significant days. Like, I was stood in this kitchen when the BBC producer called me and said I was invited for a local interview. And I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? It's still a pinch me moment, you know. I'm like, how did we get here? happy. Hello, hello, people. Right, now let's scrape the sides in. We're trying to get this to maybe 4 to 6 minutes. Anything in between that should be fine. Andrea, yes, this is butter and sugar. The sugar is brown sugar, brown and white. You can replace it with white sugar, caster or granulated, doesn't matter. You'll be fine. Okay. Let's right. We need baking powder. Okay. Now we're going to start applying the eggs. I am not going to worry too much about the eggs, but we have a yolk in here, a yolk in there, and another yolk here. Now I'm going to beat the rest. I'm going to do the same to the bake that is happening behind me. Now, if I turn my back, for those of you who are new here, I'm not ignoring you. I have a mixer working behind me. So the same thing happening here is happening behind me. So I've got to kind of do two things. Bear with me. that's all mixed together. You want to make sure everything gets in for a homogeneous mix. I like the tang of this scraper. I just wish the handle was a little more steady. Now let's let this mix whilst we get the back one at the back sorted. Same thing here. Right, I think if somebody is asking about the egg whites and the egg yolk, I will explain that. Put your question, whatever you are observing me do, if you're not sure, put it in the chat and I'll answer that when I'm done. I'm nearly finished though, okay? You'll have my attention in a moment. Buttermilk, banana, okay, so let's get this all mixed homogeneously. Let's see what the batter tastes like. Jackie, Tata is Tatiana. Girls Prefect went and got her name looking like, girl, we are all confused, okay? So, right, our batter is done here. The first one is done. So let's finish the second one. The butter is so good. Okay, now what am I doing? I need the this in. Okay, we are mixing this over. of the, I've lost much of the flour. You know why? Okay, there we are. And there you go, banana, and then flour. Okay. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, done. We don't want to overmix it. Right, thank you people. Now, the mixers are done. I promise you're not going to be hearing a mixer going for a minute. Okay, that's it. We're done. I think the other, the strusel, the coffee cake I have to make, I will make it later because we've already made one. And if I were to kind of just make another one, it will be like, what's the reason? Because when I am baking seriously, I can't talk to you, so it won't be for the interaction and entertainment value. So why? Because you've already seen me do it. So here's the batter all done. Okay, now we have the next batch. Can I share a secret with you people? These are the moments that I thank God I have a gift. Because when the church is organizing stuff, okay, my church is very like, it's very community and family centered. You don't have to do anything you don't have to do, okay? And it's not a prosperity preaching church. So the church is after your salvation more than anything. And I love it there. It's very small. It's sort of what you call a church, what do you call it, the small community of churches, very, very small, and everybody knows everybody, and you can actually call the pastor, and yeah, it's really that nice. Okay, but you know, some days when you feel like, what can I give, like when everybody is bringing theirs to the church, what can I give? This is the moment where I get to show up and be like, here. Okay, because then I can bake all sorts of cake and it can look all fancy and everybody is having fun, and yet you haven't broken the bank. Because in what part of the world will I have enough money to kind of gift 80 people something? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, it is so nice to be able to kind of do something that doesn't break the bank, but it's also like really hearty and it's done for a good reason. Lollipop says, I just got back from shopping. Oh, my head, I am melting and my head is pounding. Okay, people, now let's get to the good part. Now, when you see a pan like this, you're like, can we skip to the good part? Yeah, we're sticking. Come on now, look, let's do it. Okay, there you go. First batch goes in here. It's such a shame you can't see into the pan and what I'm doing. It's annoying. Okay, it's half and half. Okay. Look, the pan is so big, even after two lots of bakes in there, it doesn't feel so full at all. Can we skip to the good part? There you go. Okay. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is put some strusel in the middle. So you bite into the banana cake and you have a crunch of cinnamon. It's gotta be good. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just layer all of that together. And then we'll put the rest of the there you go. Now I feel like I could open a bakery. This is typical bakery style bakes, isn't it? Can we make it happen? Can you stay here, because all of you will like, oh, the bakes are so yum. Yeah, I'd like to share it with you. Unfortunately, it's not possible just yet, but hey, there is a good time for everything. Okay, let's stay hopeful. You just had an electrolyte drink. Lollipop, are you okay, darling? Yeah, sometimes shopping can leave you feeling a little bit hot and bothered. Because let's face it, when you get past a certain age, sometimes shopping is a whole thing. You need a week to recover. I'm showing my age now, am I? Okay. Okay. Okay, there you go. The strusel is in the middle of the banana loaf. Okay. And I'm kind of like, shall we just add the rest? Okay, I just want to add a little bit because I want to see the top of the banana. I just want to see the top of it look so yum. Okay, there you go. Right, now we can put the rest in here. Okay, there you go, people. Can you see? Can you see into the pan? I'd love you to see into the pan and see what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. So the banana, this is it. I'm just licking this and then it goes straight in the wash. It's not going back in. Just if you've been here before, right? If the thing is good, we don't say anything. You just smile through all the feelings you're having in your mouth. And then you're like, it's amazing. Kathleen, great to have you. Kathleen Place, darling, we are baking a banana coffee cake. It's done. Look at that. This is a 14-inch pan. It is heavy. So we're going to put that in to bake. And then we can chit chat. I'm tired. This is my second bake. Right? 1, 2, 1, 2, go. All done. I want to feel. Let me. Oh. Okay, there you go. That's gone in. Okay, let's look at the time. It is exactly 10 minutes past 7. This is going to take a whole hour to an hour and a half, by which time we'll probably have been gone. But I think I want to come back and show you what we baked. You want to see it finish now, darling? I think sadly that's the frustration we all have to live with sometimes, because some days, right, I get frustrated because I want to show you what I baked. I sincerely want to, but sometimes time doesn't allow me, because there's only so much time I can hold you up here. And you know what? We have to make it value packed for you. So yeah, if it's any comforting, this is what we did earlier. This was baked right here. We're going to cut into it, because we're going to cut these into coffee slices and we're going to box them up. So let's see. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's just see how much we'll get out of these. I never look. I have a ruler. Why do I even suffer? This is 12. So if we got like 2 inches, that's just small, Glad, isn't it? Okay, we have 4 here. Okay, and then we have 6, and then we have 8. It's just small. Like, who wants to give them 2 pieces? Give them 3, Glad. Don't be stingy. This is me having a whole conversation with myself, isn't it? Okay, let's see. Let's see. 2 point. If I do 2.5, then it's going to be awkward, because it's 12, isn't it? It's annoying. Let me have a look. So let's see. The 2-piece. Let's have a look. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's all in my head. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's all in my head. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh God, this is so good. Now I hate myself, because I'm like, how am I going to do this without my people? You know what? I have 2 small ones here, so we'll cut these small and then see. Okay, let's see. Am I too particular about the size in here? Okay, let's see. Okay. Am I getting too particular about the sizing? Okay, maybe I'm getting too particular with it. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, sort of. So we've got 2, 4, 5, so 10, 15, 20. We've got 25 servings for this. I have to bake another one of this, but I'm just going to cut it so we can see the slice inside. Look, if you went here, the reassurance is that you can find this particular cake right here on a live. We baked it right here. I was looking for 97, so 2 of these plus the big one is all I need for the servings for church. Now say it with me. Do you want to see what it looks like in there? Say it with me. Okay. There you have it. There you have it. Look. Now, who wouldn't want a cake like this with their coffee? Look. Okay. There you have it. We have a very dense, I said dense, we have a very light textured crumb. Can you see the crumb? It is so fluffy and it's homemade. This is not box mix, you know. Okay, let's try a corner. Look at the corner. Okay. Where's Auntie Jackie? Okay. Now this is the part where I leave you on your own. Okay. Let's try this and see what it tastes like. Let's try it. Okay, so if you don't know what this cake is, right, it's a vanilla sponge that is topped with a digestive biscuit strusel. We made it all here on the live. Okay, let's try. People, here's what I'll tell you about this cake. If I told you it's good, you probably won't believe me because I made it. So here's the thing. The recipe is available here. All you have to do is halve it. The quantity I use, just divide it by 2. And try it at home. And come back and tell me about it. My goal being on this channel has always been to represent what cake feels and tastes like for any regular person. And whilst I've been doing this for 10 years and counting, and I'm passionate about cake, nothing beats a simple cake that tastes great. And this has everything you need, okay? If you went for a coffee with your mate and you ordered this cake freshly baked, throw some sauce on it. Like, you don't need anything with it. I mean, adding anything to this cake is just an overkill, but sometimes you just need a bit of something to kind of finish it off. And this cake kind of balances out. What I've just eaten here is just, my mouth is full of flavor and texture because the strusel translates as like you have this sandy texture that is mixed into the fluffy, soft, delicate sweetness of the vanilla cake. And then there's the crunch of the browned sides. People, my job is done. I just hate the fact that I can't share this with you. And all I'm asking you, every day I show up here, I'm asking you, I hope I am fulfilling one thing in terms of value for you, whether it is the interaction I provide, whether it is the rawness of the baking process, or whether it is the depth of the baking process that I teach you. However value translates to you, I hope you make an intentional choice and a commitment to stick around here, because in the future, you may get to see me do this on a live with you in person, and then you will get to eat the cake and you'll be like, okay, it was worth it, okay? We cannot do that. I cannot do that without your support, okay? I am here because of you. This channel continues to grow because of your participation. So we have a transactional relationship. I know it's beyond a transaction, but we have a transactional relationship at face value, where my job is to come and provide you value in various different forms. It may be the representation of the raw moments that I show you, or it is the interaction to keep you engaged, or it's that the pieces of my life that I share with you so you can find relatability, or on a very serious note, the in-depth information of the science and the baking process, whatever that looks like. It's never a linear road. That we are complex people, we have different interests, and so value translates in many forms. But what is not to be forgotten is that this is a transactional relationship that is symbiotic. I need you, you need me, right? So stay here, keep supporting the channel. And on that note, if you haven't liked the video already, do like the video just so that YouTube knows you were here. And if you love what we just did over here, unfortunately, church people are going to eat this and they will say a prayer for you. Hello, okay? So tell the church people they're going to have a great time eating this cake. Okay, they are going to. Okay, so stick around, support the channel, and yeah, this may be a live show, in person live show, or when we grow and it becomes a sustainable business, it may be a brick and mortar building where you can come to and buy some cake and know that, oh, she makes amazing cakes. That's my dream. That's all. But the cake is good. It's good. Every time you land here, you know you're going to have a good cake. And the odd occasion the cake isn't, I'll tell you. There you go. The tea fell over. Is it? It nearly did, though. Now I need a big cup of tea. Not because this is not going to do it for me. Carabo. We will see you on the next one, darling. Thank you for being here. We love you and thank you for your support. I'm not trying to talk and eat, but people. I'm not gone yet. Andrea, I'll answer you in a moment. Bear with me. Let me just finish eating, okay, and drink some water and I'll talk to you. Bear with me. Okay, now you've got my attention. Okay, Andrea was asking, she said, why did you separate the egg whites from the yolks but add the egg whites in the batter without beating them separately? Okay, right. First to get them to rise, doesn't it? Okay, right. Andrea, I guess you had a question for the technique that I used in the process. Okay, it's a general question. I will try to answer the question specifically without giving you a wider perspective because it matters, so you're not too confused. Your question about why I didn't beat the egg white separately, well, if I beat the egg white separately, it's a different process altogether. That requires, there's a different type of batter. So on the spectrum of batter types that you use for making cakes, you have the angel food cake, you have the genuine sponge, and then you have the batter cake method, which is what I did. An example of a butter cake method is the pound cake, where you weigh all the ingredients as a pound and then you cream. So I was using a specific type of method to get my butter. Now, when you use, I think the angel food cake, I could be wrong, it's one of or the other, where you beat the egg white separately. What you're trying to do is that you're trying to enhance the air bubbles that will help your cake to rise. Now, in the method I was using, I didn't need to beat the egg white separately. The reason being, it didn't matter. But if your question is about why I separated the yolks from the whites, that was just a preference, because yolks contain emulsifiers. Egg yolks contains lecithin. I get that name wrong all the time. It's either lecithin or lecithin, one of them. Either way, yolks contains an emulsifier, which is lecithin, and the emulsifying properties of the yolk means that it can hold the batter together. So it was a simple preference to employ the yolks to bind the base of the batter for me before I added the other ingredient, just so that the batter doesn't split. That's all. So you can beat the eggs and add them all together. Having done this for a long time, I have seen the difference between when you add the yolks. Not all the yolks though, it's just about 3 of them, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just add the yolk so that the base of the batter, like it creams, it holds together. Because what you're doing is that butter making is just like emulsifying all the ingredients so that they marry together and then they're in unison. And yolks is like the family friend who unifies everybody together. So wherever I can get the yolks to do its job properly, I will employ it. So that is just my personal preference, to employ the yolks to say, come on, hold your brothers and sisters together so that they don't fall apart. We need the family to stay together. And that was all I did. Now, if I was making a different type of batter, I think it's not the genuine, it's the angel food cake, where you have to beat the yolks separately from the whites, which with the whites added later. What you're doing is that you are trying to kind of use the air pockets that are formed in the egg whites to enhance leavening of your cake, which is a completely different process, and that wasn't what I was trying to do. I was simply trying to employ the emulsifying properties of the yolk to enhance the batter emulsification process and make the batter homogeneous. The outcome is that you have a more level bake, like especially for a bake that is so wide in the surface area. You want to make sure that you get an even bake and you don't have your batter, some of it like falling into and then the other parts of it burning, if you know what I mean. You have to have batter that it can sustain through all the changes of heat and even the mixing processes, and making sure that the emulsifying properties of the yolk is at play is really important for a great batter. That's all. Does that make sense? Yeah, Andrea. Oh, Tatiana. You know what, Tatiana, darling, I know I haven't stopped to talk to you much. I am so sorry. Your sister out here, so busy, but I hope studies is going okay. We'll see you later. Have a good one and keep trusting the Lord. The rest will be fine. That's all. Don't worry. You know what? Go do the thing that you need to do. Okay? Go do that. Don't worry. We will always be here when you come back. Okay? If you have to switch us off and be like, see ya, you go do that, and we'll see you soon. Andrea is asking, should we avoid emulsifying too much for the bath for smaller? Not necessarily. For the range of batters you will be making sure your batter is stable and homogeneous is important. So not necessarily, but here's what I'll say. What I am doing here is something that is tried and tested. Because the recipe is mine, I developed it, I have optimized it, I know the recipe in and out. So all these changes I have introduced to the batter is because the recipe is mine and I know it well. That is not to say if you were using any different recipe, you should be doing this. Follow the recipe instructions that is derived for the specific batter you are using. Does that make sense? Just because I have explained what the role eggs play in the batter making process doesn't mean if you found a different recipe you should be using this technique. It may not work because the component ingredients of that recipe and the method may be specific to that recipe type. Does that make sense? Unless if you decided that, oh Gladys, can you give me your recipe so I can make a cake out of it? Then I will hand you all the tips, including what I have just done here. Does that make sense? So here's the general rule. Do not apply different techniques that you've learned from different places to new recipes when you do not know the complete recipe back and forth. Does that make sense? So my answer is still not necessarily, right? Does that make sense? Should we avoid emulsifying too much butter? Not necessarily. Look at the recipe guidelines or the recipe notes that are derived for the recipe and follow the instructions accordingly. But if you found a recipe that produced the same similar method as this cake and it calls for, say, 3 eggs, you can start with just 1 egg yolk first and then adding the rest in. It makes no difference, but follow recipe guidelines and instructions for that specific recipe. Does that make sense? Oh, you know what? After a bake like this, the biggest thing that I have to think about is the washing up. It's a lot, people. I need an assistant. But then again, I'm the kind of person who likes the order in my kitchen. And because the kitchen is so small, I don't know if I'll be open to the assistant. I don't know what I'll be doing. Tracy, darling. Tracy, thank you for being here with us. Now, let's tidy up and get some order in the kitchen. My people, it's Friday. It's Friday. What are we doing? What are we doing this Friday? All of us. There is 31 likes in the chat. Like, where have you all been? Look at us. Look. Let's get the cakes. Let's wipe the place up. It's been a good Friday, hasn't it? Look, what a good day it has been over here for us. In real time, can I tell you something funny? In real time, I've run out of self-raising flour. No, I haven't. In real time, look, this is plain flour. That is why that's why we have the gray my self-raising flour is gone. Kem, Gladys looks like a Senegalese or a Gambian. You are so far off the mark. Why do you think I am a Senegalese or a Gambian, Kem? I think the only reason I know I'm no Senegalese is because my jollof rice will still have questions. Hello, my people. Right. Happy Friday, though. I know it's now, is it mid-afternoon, early afternoon for some of my US-based people. Auntie Jackie, is Auntie Jackie still here with us? Because I was just checking what time it is wherever you guys are. If you're in the chat, what's the time where you are? Please let us know what time it is. And this was the cake we finished baking. Oh, 1:30 p.m. Wow. 1:30. So, Auntie Jackie, how is Friday going so far? How is your Friday? Is Friday looking like the way you imagined it? Because it's 7:30 for us, so my day is nearly over. Except it's never over when I'm stood here with you guys. So how is 2:30 for Tracy? Cleanup crew on call. Yes, cleanup crew. Look, if you look into my corner here, the mess is messing. It's a mess. But you know what? That is the part that I think, I'm like, I can show you everything, but not that mess, because it's piled up, you know, and I don't have a dishwasher. And let me tell you the relationship I have with the dishwasher. As an African. Now this is where I'm about to kind of like annoy my other family people over there, okay? But you know what? When I talk about like being an African woman or like a black African person, it is never to bring a division, because it's important to kind of clarify my intention, because this is the internet. It is more for the purposes of educating, because Tabitha said to me, Tabitha is friend to the channel and my white sister over there in Oregon, okay? Tabitha lives in a part of our world where she says she lives in a small... In my head, I'm like, this would have been if it was like, you know, in the past when people lived in small communities. That would be Tabitha, because Tabitha lives in Oregon, right? Let me just move this out of the way. Tabitha lives in Oregon, right? And she says she's never met like a black person. I don't think it's a black person, like an African, a Ghanaian, right? And that's not a mind blown for me. Like for a minute I was like, that's mind blowing. I was like, yeah. I came to England when I was 20, and up until then I hadn't come into any close contact with a Caucasian. Can we have that conversation? So it's like, it's not a big deal. But you know what is lovely about Tabitha's spirit, right? Tabitha tells me all the time, she's like, I just love to learn about like new people and their culture. So when I talk about being a black person or an African, it is just to bring you sort of an informative education about how different we are and the cultural values of us, like what jollof rice looks like, why it is what it is, even like the way I grew up, our value system and all of that. Okay, I just want to make that clear, because in our world where people can just misrepresent what you are saying, it is important to always try and clarify what you're saying. Not because I don't trust you, because between you and I, we're good, right? But there are people sitting on the fence, and this is in a public forum. And when we are gone and the context is missing, because people don't care to look, people don't care to read, people don't care to listen. And I'll tell you an example. I woke up one day and I thought I wanted to be mischievous. And I posted a photo over there. And the photo said, the photo clearly stated in the text, like the small print, that I was being mischievous. It's funny, but I intentionally just posted. It's actually, I was emceeing a program. Like when I'm not here, I'm on the microphone a lot as what, an MC? What do they call them? People, like when you go to weddings, the person who keeps the microphone to keep the wedding going, that would be me, right? And that would be me. So I posted on there, I'm like, it's a beautiful day or something, and I decided to go get married. And actually that was my pastor's son, okay? He was on a production team with me, and we were actually, the shots that we took was production shots, because we were hosting a couple's night. I was the host of the event. They were part of the production team. And I just took a photo and I posted it on. And everybody in the comment section was like, congratulations, Gladys. I'm like, people, read. I told you in the text that this is mischief making and that I'm in my house. So, yeah, foodies, is it foodies music? Yeah, master of ceremony. So that is just, I just went off on a tangent. The tangent is that when I tell you about like me as a black person, I tell you just so that you do not feel, especially in our world where there can be fear mongering amongst each other, right? You can be open to asking a question, and I know your heart and I understand you, and you don't feel scared to be labeled as something, because how else would you know? Would you know what, like, if you ask me where I came from, how would you know that is not offensive to me at all? How would you know unless you ask the question? But these days people are even scared to ask the question, and there's reason why people get scared. So I say all of that to say, when we talk about color here, we talk about that in an embracing way, in a way to inform and be inclusive. I don't think I'm not the figurehead of the subject of race, okay? I'm not the figurehead. We all have unique experiences, and if we all zoom in on the small unique experiences, okay, then what do we gain from that? But we can use those as learning opportunities and build bridges with each other. And I love the multinational nature of the community we have here. The love I get from all of you and all the support has been very it's been unifying, and I just want to reinforce that when I start talking about being an African or being Ghanaian, don't get scared. It is just to bring levity and education. That's all, okay? Cam says, love the nails. Lollipop says, I did read. If anybody would read, I knew it would be you, Tapeta, and I know my people, okay? Lollipop, stop defending your corner. Oh, I've got news for you. Where did that come from? Why am I shouting? I've got news for you. I will link it for you people. Talking about it was Tapeta who asked me what a Ghanaian wedding looked like. Now, some days I don't want to bring my life outside of here to the internet, okay? But I actually was a master of ceremony for a wedding that is now on YouTube, okay? So if you want to see some aspects of what Ghanaian weddings look like the traditional wedding, just for those of you who care, I will link that video in a community post, and then you can go have a look at it, okay? If you go and see it, yeah, it's on YouTube. The couple are on YouTube now, but they are very new, as in they are they've literally, the video went out yesterday and I saw it in my notification, and I kind of clicked. It's weird to see myself on a random side of the internet that is not cake. It's weird, but I invite you all to check. It is just Lollipop, if you can just find it out, just so that in the chat. But it is Edward and Elizabeth. The Edward is a big E, as in capital E. Edward, one word, and separate, and Elizabeth separate, right? Edward and Elizabeth. I think the thumbnail to the video would show a white guy and a black lady in a very colorful Ghanaian print. Lollipop, find it. If you can link it in the chat for us, whoever is interested, because part of the education, it's not even about me. I just want you to see into what, because Tapeta asked, the tangent I went on was because I was saying Tapeta did ask about Ghanaian weddings, like the traditional part. And because it's such a broad subject, I didn't know where to pick and how to explain things without making it all confusing. Because sometimes it's better to explain something when there is context. So when I saw the video, like a penny drop, I'm like, oh, this will be amazing, because the video has been edited to highlight the significant moment of the programming, if you like. So if you see the video and you have questions about Ghanaian weddings, the traditional aspect, then you can come and have a chat about it and ask me, and then I can answer it. That's the whole point of it, right? So it's one second. Yeah, I think you found it. It's the guy, and I don't know if you can click it and see it. But yeah, that's the link in there. So if you're interested, you can go watch it after the live. And yeah, it was such a good time. I don't like bringing my life outside of here to the internet, but this is already available on the internet. So you can see the fun we had in that ceremony. And if you have questions, the intention is not for you to go and be nosy, okay? The intention is for you to go watch. And if you have questions about what Ghanaian weddings look like, come back and ask me, and I will answer them for you, okay? So yeah, my people, there's a washing up to do, and I'm like, I want to show you the bake when it's done, but it's an hour and a half away. It's a long time. Stick your nose right in. You know, it was such a good, you know, like I said, I don't like bringing my life outside of here onto the internet, because sometimes it involves other people, and it's like, just talk about you and what you like and what you do, and leave other people out. So even when I go and do the master of ceremony, I don't post anything about me at all. And I get really particular about how I navigate that place, like people tagging you in things, because I also want to, I do this because I love cake. I don't want the I understand now when people genuinely say, you know what, I found something I love. I don't understand the attention that comes with it. Like, it's disingenuous to say I don't understand the attention that comes with it, because the attention drives value, okay? And it's not something to kind of throw your nose up at it. But it's not also something that I hog, and like, I won't say I'm awkward socially. I'm not awkward at all, but I am more reserved socially than you would think. I get really anxious when I'm like in close spaces with people I don't know. I really, like, I'm in my head a lot. I'm not awkward, like I'm not socially awkward. I can talk to anybody, but there's the sort of freedom I have here in this dark kitchen with lights and a camera. It's not the same when you meet a person, because when you meet a person, you still have to apply the same level of manners. And sometimes you have to judge their mood and see whether they will meet you in the same place. Do you know what I mean? And I am in my head a lot. So socially, I am very, very reserved a lot, which is kind of an opposite to maybe the personality you'll see here. But if you met me and you smiled at me, right, you would definitely get a smile back if I'm not stressing about something. Okay? Do you see what I mean? So yeah, go watch that video. Edward and Elizabeth got married, and Lollipop said, I'm a lot more awkward in face-to-face interaction. I can turn my filter off a little more with text. Do you see what I mean? Like, I am the sort of person who I've gotten better. I keep saying I'm a recovering complainer. I'm recovering from a lot of things. But I'm the sort of person, if I text you for some reason or another and you don't text back, I used to be the person who will be in my head a lot about why I did. Like, it's not about the person I've texted or anything, but I'm thinking, did I say something wrong? What is wrong here? Like, did I do it right? Like, everything seems like the worst case for me. I sort of catastrophize in my head a lot. And that can affect how people perceive you. Because on the internet, right, you will find people say, oh, never meet your idols. This is not about me, by the way. I'm just giving you a general concept. People like, don't meet your idols. Like, they can be awkward, because the internet demands something of you that may just not be you. Because just because people are comfortable on the camera doesn't mean they are comfortable in person, and it doesn't mean they are less appreciative of the support you give them. You have to understand that people have situations, like real life situations, that affects them in their life. You may meet, like, there's a creator on TikTok who gets a lot of like a lot of people love him, but there is a section of the internet that kind of just like to say stuff about how unsociable he is. And the guy has already come on the internet and told you, he said, look, I have social anxiety. And he's literally pleading with the internet to say, if you meet me outside and I'm awkward, know that I am not being awkward towards you at all. I just have a condition that so debilitates me and affects me. I am okay with the camera, but once the camera is gone, I am a whole, like, there is a difficulty I am pleading for you to empathize with. And yet the internet ignores that completely. And this is like somebody who is really nice and is sincerely passionate about the subject matter they present. And yet the internet completely ignores that. And then somebody meets him in town somewhere and asks for a photo. And he awkwardly obliges. You could see in that moment he could have done better by saying, no, it's not time for a photo, can we just let go? But I think a part of him just wanted to oblige and honor this fan. And this person, like, this blows my mind. This person takes the little couple of seconds interaction, re-edits the photo, the video to look like this guy who had given this time, the fan, their time. The fan goes and re-edits the video to tell a completely different story. And your guess is as good as mine. Do you know what story they ended up purporting on the internet? That the creator was so mean and didn't want to talk to them. And it wasn't that. It was a good thing that these days creators have access to defend themselves. So the creator came and said, look, I didn't ignore this person at all. In fact, here's the situation. I was having a day out with my family or friends over here. I don't know this person, but I just wanted to honor the fact that they just support me. And it was against my better judgment. They said it was against all the difficulties I was having on the day. And I still gave them the best time I could in that moment. And yet this is how they choose to represent me. It's kind of odd. Now, I don't have debilitating anxiety. I'm just saying I am a little more reserved in person, that until, like, I can initiate a conversation with you, but to initiate a conversation, I have to be sure I know you and you're going to be receptive. Because just as I'm awkward, that is if I am, you may be too. You may not like strangers just coming up to you and be like, hey, we good. Like, what's good here? Hello. There's nothing good here, okay? I'm just saying. It's a two-way street. That's all. So go watch the video. If you have questions, come ask me. I will answer them for you, okay? It is more fun. But what are you like in person? Are you reserved? Let's see. That, oh, look. Oh, my goodness. This cake is going to be amazing. Okay. What are you like? Okay, Good Vibes says sincerity is gold to me. So, Good Vibes, what are you like in person? Are you outgoing? Are you welcoming? Or you're a little more reserved, like, please leave me alone. Don't talk to me. Let me just have my coffee first before I can work out if I can say hello. because there are people like that. Like, I have changed a lot. I used to be that person where it's like, look, I'm having a bad day. Please leave me alone, okay? But then I work in McDonald's. I used to work in McDonald's, right? And I working. Let me tell you this. When I worked in McDonald's, it was one of the most crushing times of my life. Like, I had some really, really difficult life situations happening in my life, right? And even showing up for work. I don't know how I did it. Because in my experience, I saw the worst part of society when I did that job. People feeling so entitled. Like, what would make you want to start shouting at me over the phone because you want a milkshake? and the milkshake is finished and it's not even like my fault the milkshake has run out? Why are you cursing at me because you want a coffee that is still being prepared, but you are losing your marbles because the coffee has not been prepared like within the time, the drive from the point of service to the counter? Like, why? I never understood that. I never understood that. And if I told you, maybe one day I'll come and sit here and I'll tell you some of the best experiences I had in my jobs. The McDonald's one was quite interesting. It was quite interesting. I had some really I had some hearty moments. I had between the customers who were actually just abusive and wrong for all the reasons. There were customers who literally stopped their cars in the point of service and would jump and be like, "Oi, did you take my order?" I'll be like, "Yes." Like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Why?" It's like, it was more like the conversation was like, whatever you do, this shouldn't be your plate. Don't you. Yeah, that was so good. And then people also fancied, you'd be surprised, between the point of service or the time, sometimes the cars will queue and you don't have anywhere to go because the queue is not moving. It's a busy time. I have had the most random conversations with people, like people getting a divorce, people catching their partners having affairs, and in the thick of it, they've just found out their partner is having an affair and they want a coffee to be done with it and to clear their head. And I'm the person they're talking to at the window. It's wild. I know, Jack, I'll check the email. I haven't because I've been dodging my email forever. I will, darling, I will. Thank you. It's been great hanging out with you, Jack. All the help you've given us and the continuous support every day. We're so grateful to have you. Enjoy your Friday and the rest of the weekend. I won't be back here on the live until perhaps Tuesday or maybe Monday. Who knows? If I'll be here on Monday, it will be in the community post. But best case, I'll be back on Tuesday. Love you. Bye-bye. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. You know what? I will tell you about my McDonald's experience sometime. That part requires a whole live, caking it with Gladys or a cake and giggle, and I'll tell you, I had some wild experiences. I have caught people that I know of, not that I know personally, but people I know of, and a couple that I used to go to church with. And the man was cheating with somebody, and they pulled up at night. And the problem, if you didn't know, I'm telling you now, I'm telling you today, if you ever pull up in a McDonald's or KFC, the moment the area within which the building is, it's all rigged with cameras. So when you pull up at the point of service, when you're talking to the microphone, there is a camera angle that is looking right into your car. Okay, so we can see you. So when you be like, "Hello," and they say, "Can I help you?" They're looking at you there's a whole view of your car in the front, your car, that we can see. And people will be sat there and the arm is at somewhere it shouldn't be, especially when you're driving, because it's distracting and you're going to be involved in an accident. Okay, behave. People, I'll come back and tell you. Lollipop says, "I keep meaning to email you. I keep meaning to send Gladys an email. I'll remember at some point." Yeah, please do. And look, you take your time. When you come to it, you will. Okay, darling? When you come to it, you will. Seasonings. So I can see much of you saying, a lot of you are, what's your email, Gladys? Okay, it's hello at Gladys Gourmet Cakes. So it's hello at gladysgourmetcakes.co.uk. And if that's too much for you to kind of remember, you can Lollipop, you can put it in the chat, please, if you don't mind. But otherwise, if you go to the homepage of the channel, there is a link to my website and there's a contact form over there. The contact form obviously reveals the email, so you can email me directly from there. It's on the website. So it's Gladys, my name, Gourmet Cakes. That's in GOURMET Cakes. So Gladys Gourmet Cakes, all one word. Hello at gladysgourmetcakes.co.uk. That's their email. So yeah, there you go. People, I want to tell you about my McDonald's stories and everything. But I also have a kitchen that is packed with washing up and an oven that has so much in there. Let's see. I want you to see the result of our bake, but we don't have time. Yeah, it's going to take a long time, darlings. So you know what I will probably do is I'll make an exception, and as soon as it comes out of the oven, I will film it, and then I'll put it on the shorts, and I'll link it in the community post. I'll film it as the shorts. There will not be any voiceover. It will probably be just sound, and then I will link it straight on the community post so you can see a video of the cake coming out of the oven. That's just so that you can see the end of it and know that, okay, we were here, we did it, and I'll do it tonight. Good Vibes is asking if I've ever made a strawberry champagne cake. No, at least not at the moment, or not in my experience yet, because I haven't had a reason to make a strawberry champagne. If someone is having a wedding, they want strawberry champagne, hello, you're welcome, I'll make it. But no, but if you want me to make a strawberry champagne cake on a live, who knows, I might be able to do that. Okay, that's fun. Yeah, but champagne over here, why? Good Vibes. You know what, it might just be great fun, because I know on the internet people sometimes, where they cannot, like, because of location distance, they are unable to do get a cake, or they order the cake, they like make the cake, will pay for it but give it to somebody, I don't know. So yeah, if you you've just heard of it now. I've never had it before. No, I've never had to make a strawberry champagne, but the option, the flavor option, is very custom, because it's not what I offer as a business, but it also, I've had strawberry champagne or strawberry Earl Grey and all of that. Sometimes those are reserved as like exclusive wedding cake flavors. So it's neither here nor there. If there's an opportunity to be able to make a new cake flavor over here, you know I will always do that, right? So people, it's a minute to 8 o'clock. It's a minute to 8 o'clock. Let's call it a day, right? For those of you who are still mid-afternoon already and early afternoon, I hope you have a good one. If it's early evening for you in the UK like it is, I hope you're not doing a lot of washing up. And for those of you who are in different time zones around the world, thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, happy baking. Come back and see the shorts of our bake complete. And I'll see you on the next one. Much love to you. Lollipop, thank you for all the love and support. Good Vibes, Seasons, Auntie Jackie is gone, Tapitha, Tatiana, all of you, love you so much, and thank you for the support always. Bye. Okay. Okay, yeah, press okay. Yeah, thank you. It's finished.